Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to J3 Entertainment. I'm J3, and I got my boy in the building.
Sable Rocks.
What up, dog? Confetti. We are back with another review, but this is a spoiler review. See, a lot of folks don't know this. When I dropped my Wonder Woman review, I did a spoiler part, but my boy Sable hit me up and was like, yo, can I get on that review with you? And I was like, you know what? Yes, we can do that. Let's bring them this fire. So I did my cuts. So now we're going to go ahead and spoil Wonder Woman. Yes, we're a little late, but I mean, it did just hit 60% on Rotten Tomato, bro.
Everyone's seen it by now, and if you haven't, I envy you.
All right, that's fair. But let's get into this review. You guys know how we like to do. We like to talk about the good. We like to talk about the bad. And then we just kind of just have fun with the thing. So, Sable, you're my guest. You choose. Do we go good or bad first?
Gotta go good.
We got to go good.
Let's get the good out the way. Let's talk about what she did right.
Word. We talking about Gal or Patty?
Both.
Word. Okay. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Yeah, man. A lot of people disagree. I've been reading comments, and I've had this conversation with my other comic book buddies. Like, oh, the movie had 2 openings, and then that didn't make any sense. Yes, it did, bro, because the opening where she's younger, she's in like the Olympics going through like the little Ninja Warrior challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the movie for me, man. That was the best part. Because she's younger, I feel like she can actually lose. Something can happen to her. I didn't really get any of that in other parts of the movie. So for me, that had me on the edge. I wanted that the whole movie.
Word.
So the first
act?
5-7 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the movie to me.
Nah, I agree on that. There was the little girl, the little actress. She was very, very cute. You know, she had that Wonder Woman that I can do this. I can be the best I could be. I really dug that.
Hey, she should have been disqualified from the Olympics for being half god. I just realized that's like doping.
But they were. I don't know. How about the Amazons though?
Fam, they made it Clay. You part Zeus? What?
That is true, but they still got God material though, low key, right?
No.
I don't know.
If this little 7-year-old girl is giving it to you, no.
She was running fast though. I don't know.
I think she would have went. If she would have gave him a hand, she would beat him up too.
You
Let her get a hold of a rope.
Yeah, maybe. Nah, she was too little. She was gonna get bodied, bruh.
Fam, she was ready. She was a beast.
Nah, she was gonna get bodied.
That Zeus was gonna come out of her.
It was gonna kill her easily. She was gonna get murked easy kill. But that's all you got?
Guys, y'all seen the movie. All right, go with your good.
Okay, I'll say this. I enjoyed the first scene, the first act. I thought that was really cool. I also enjoyed the mall scene, which also in the very beginning. And the reason why is because it put me in a place back when I was younger. You know, I grew up watching, you know, the superhero shows and stuff like that. So I remember, you know, the Hulk, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, and the A-Team and stuff like that used to come on all the time as a kid. So they used to have their back-to-back and things like that, Shazam and stuff. So it gave me that vibe, but modern day. And I dug it. Especially it was in the 80s too. So, you know, I'm an 80s baby. So when you well, yeah, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in the 80s, you know, so 80s baby, but I grew up in the 90s. So you kind of got that style with it, and I really dug it. And I really appreciate Patty for bringing that to the table. Like, yo, let's try this. Since we're in the 80s, let's give the viewers the 80s vibe, the late 70s, early 80s vibe of what Wonder Woman really was in the 80s. And I dug that. And then she put the nice spin of modernizing the action portion of it, the visuals. Dug that. I also enjoyed the acting. I thought the acting was cool on Pedro, his style and how he brought to Maximus Lord. It's not as accurate, but he made it his own, and I dug that, and that's why he's just that damn good. Kristen Wiig surprised the freak out of me, bro. I was like, yo, I was not expecting that. After Ghostbusters, I kind of washed my hands with her because Ghostbusters really is, I hold Ghostbusters dear to the heart, bro. Ghostbusters my stuff, bro. I love Ghostbusters. And when I seen when she was part of that disaster, I kind of was like, I don't know. But I did, I gave it a chance, and I thought she did a good job as Cheetah. Chris Pine was cool. he did his thing. I liked his view on Fish Out of the Water. I also enjoyed Patty Jenkins directing in this movie. I got a lot I like, bro. I enjoyed Patty Jenkins directing in this movie. Yes, there's some scenes that I did not favor. I was like, I don't know, that was weak. But for the most part, I think she did a real good job directing the movie. What else I like? I'm thinking. I'm missing something. I like the story.
Now explain what you mean by you like this story so that people don't get mad in the comics. Because this was not a functional story. So I think what he means to say is the concept of the story, but the execution, I think he can agree, was bad.
No, the script was bad. Okay. Hands down.
All right.
But I like the story. I thought the story was really good. And I mean, you get a lot of movies like that where the story is cool, but this execution just sucks. Be like, God damn. And it's like, for instance, that Justin Timberlake movie that came out with the time part. When he had to pay for time, like, the story was dope. Like, yo, this is great. I love this concept.
Great concept, poor execution, especially how it became a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Yeah. It was like, yo, but the story was good. So I liked the story. I thought they were really going somewhere with that. That's pretty much I got what I like, man. That's pretty much what I got.
Out of a superhero movie, notice he did not bring up the fight scenes.
Because ain't none, bro.
Very telling.
What you talking about, man?
You got to wait 100 minutes before you get a fight scene, guys. Come on.
Define fight. What do you mean by fight scene? Well, let's go on and get into the bad since we already there. Yeah. Let's talk about the bad. And we're going, because I can sense the bad is in you. You got a lot of bad.
Yeah, this movie brought me to the dark side of the force, guys.
Oh, man. Okay. Let's kid and play it. You do something, I'll say something. We come back and forth. Let's run it.
I want to say this. When Patty Jenkins was first given the first Wonder Woman movie, I was a skeptic. I looked at her resume. I'm seeing episodes of Entourage, Monster, which was good, and all this other stuff.
Entourage is a good show.
Is she qualified to do a superhero movie? If you would have asked me back then, the answer was no. And it's not because she was a woman or anything like that. It's just because, like, her resume wasn't there. I typically think before you should jump on a superhero project, you need to co-direct something within the same genre. And she, at the time, had none of it. But she surprised me. I loved Wonder Woman. At the time, it was, to me, the best DCEU film. Only gripe I have with that movie is it had two endings. It was like 15, 20 minutes too long, and they could have cleaned it up a little bit. But that's it. Other than that, it was great. I loved it. So I was like, wow, man.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, like, look at me judging somebody. Sometimes you can hit the ground running before you crawl. She did. But now I watch this movie and I think, does she have Kanye West syndrome? Let me explain that. Everyone looks at the old Kanye like, oh, I missed the old Kanye West.
We all do.
I missed the old Kanye West. But then you find out Sci-Hi the Prince is getting writer's credit. Common, Talib Kweli, Consequence. Was the
Kid
real
Cudi, bro?
Yeah, Kid Cudi. Was the old Kanye that we know and love really even the old Kanye that we know and love? Because the new Kanye that newer fans know and love is just Travis Scott. So now I gotta look back at this movie was so bad to me.
Them bars are whole cold.
Yeah. I gotta look back at Wonder Woman 1 and go, was that even Patty Jenkins or was that Zack Snyder?
Damn.
I don't know anymore. This was not a functional story. So from a director's point of view, 16 minutes in, I want you guys to go on HBO Max and watch this scene. I can already tell what happened. There's a scene where a guy is on the ground. He's doing this. I'm like, what is he doing that for? Fam, in that cut, he was supposed to be tied up with a rope, and they forgot to CG in the rope. Patty, no, we don't do that here. No, Patty. That's my first gripe.
But I will say this, just in defense of that.
Okay.
That's just editing. The shot was shot, but the editing portion.
Right, because in her defense, in that scene, technically he wasn't grabbed with the rope. But you got to understand how these work. They shoot the scene like 30 different times, and they're going to put it together in the editing room. So maybe he was supposed to be tied up. So if that was one of those scenes where he was supposed to be tied up.
Having a seizure.
Yeah. What? You okay?
I'll be throwing them in, bro.
Hold on. Like, you good? Can you do this?
What?
Can you do this real quick? I'm just making sure his arms still work after that incredible reach he just did.
Hey, man. Hey, these arms are made to reach.
But the director is supposed to be there in the editing room. You got to make sure that they bring your vision to life. And that was a rookie mistake. And this ain't the regular season. You're in the playoffs, Patty.
Come on, man. Everyone makes mistakes, though, bro. Like, look at Game of Thrones. They had coffee bugs and junk.
We don't forgive them from that. We hate them, too, for that.
Okay. I just want to make sure you was on the page. Okay, whatever. Yeah. That's whack.
I'm going to tag you in.
Tag me in. Go. Remember that show on Channel 9, The Dance and shit? All right. What I did not like, and I know what you're saying. I get it. I dig it. But one of the main things I did not like is just Gal Gadot's acting. She, in part one, she had a beautiful fish out of water experience for us. Like, you know what I mean? We experienced her coming to our world, and it worked. But then when you think about it, she's holding that same energy in the 84, which is 66 years from the first movie. And it's like, damn, you really ain't learned nothing. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like what they did with the character. Wonder Woman she saved people on the low, but she lived like they didn't handle her correctly. You know, she just felt out of place. Like, she didn't feel like she was even in 80s. Like, she didn't know anything. She didn't know anybody. She didn't have any friends. She kept herself away from people. And I understand, you know, granted, she probably did that on her own, but Gal's acting was just trash. You know, when she was trying to do her Rasengan on the jet, she was sitting there looking like this, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I tried it one time, and I was like, yo, that don't even look believable. How you explaining this doesn't even look believable. Like, she couldn't even pretend to have a ball of air in her hand. Like, that is bad acting. Like, when I looked at
writing too.
Hear me out. If the acting was good, do we really even care? Like, it would have been like, yeah, that was dumb, but at least the acting was okay. It's a hand-in-hand thing. Most superhero movies, stories are bad. It's just what it is. Not the comic books, but the actual story. Most superhero movie stories be trash. They have no substance, but the acting is what brings you in. We only there to really see the star, which is the title, the hero. I'm there to see that. Like, you know, think about it. Ant-Man, right? Ant-Man script really wasn't all that. I mean, you had T.I. and Michael Pena, right?
Pena, yeah.
That's your comedy factor. It was weak. But Paul Rudd's a great actor. Michael Douglas is a good actor. Like, you had good acting going on in the movie, so you didn't pay attention to that stuff. So when you look at how the star of the movie is just not even at that level, because you're sitting next to Chris Pine, who's giving you fire. He's leading up the action scenes. He's leading up everything for you, and you believe Chris Pine is actually Steve Trevor. You believe these things, but you don't believe that Gal is actually Wonder Woman. It feels like an actress trying to be a character. At this point, part one, it was the total opposite. She embodied that stage of Wonder Woman for me. This time around, she was trying to become that, because now all eyes on you. Because in the first one, she had, when she was in the mascara, she had her mom and all that. She had that portion. She had those actresses to cover her up. She leaves. She comes to our world. She got Chris Pine to cover her up. She says very little words, kind of like Sylvester Stallone in First Blood. Very little words. And then when you get Rambo 2, Rambo 3, you just keep doing this shit. You're like, hey, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happens. So now that she's the star, it's kind of like, I see it now. She has the small town detective look, hands in the pocket, eyebrow up, crunched in, shoulders. Nah, see, you know, it becomes an issue for me watching her on screen, man. And when you're the star, that really matters to me. Just being honest.
I will have to disagree with something you said.
Yeah.
And that's the fact that comic book movie stories are usually trash. That might have been true in the early days, but Marvel has beaten that out of us as an audience. Marvel has shown that you can give us good, intelligent, functional stories. Now, when's the last time we had a superhero movie with an actual plot hole in it?
What?
Name it.
Infinity War, Endgame.
A plot hole?
Yeah. Time travel. It was all over the place.
No, see, because we don't know how actual time travel works, even though you don't like it or think it's stupid, you have to accept the meta of how they chose to go about their version of time travel.
I give you a big plot hole. Spider-Man in space with no air.
He had the suit on.
No air. They was on foreign planets breathing. That don't make sense. Those are plot holes.
No, that's not true. They're on foreign planets where other humanoid life lives.
Right. We're talking in space. I can hear you. How? There's no sound. There's no air.
He had the helmet on.
Okay. You said name movies. I can keep going.
That's not a plot hole.
That is. Because it defeats the whole purpose of the scene now.
A plot hole is you tell me I can only make one wish and you give the bad guy a second wish.
I understand that. You want to know why?
Why?
Because she wished originally on the rock. That nigga turned to a whole new rock.
Did he turn? Is that what that explained?
That's the only way that I see logic. Nah, man.
His arm.
Nah, that's logical though. It was
reach.
2 different wishes.
He's never going to be able to use his arm again, guys.
Because if you look at it, everybody wished to him. Wonder Woman could not even Wonder Woman could have made another wish. He told Wonder Woman, make another wish.
That's just another inconsistency.
Not necessarily. It's just it could have been explained better.
Could have.
But I followed the ways of okay, what made that scene different for me?
Here's why that doesn't make sense.
How?
Because he specifically says, I wish I was the stone, right?
Right, word.
That's not saying I want to become a stone. I wish I was the stone.
I understand the monkey paw wish idea. I get it. That right there, you know, because it's like how Homer did on The Simpsons, right? I wish for a sandwich, turkey sandwich. Wait. And he's like a little bit of mayo, and he made a specific detail on the sandwich. And he bit in and said, the turkey's dry. Like, so I understand what you're saying, but that's just personally, that's nitpicking that portion. Because if you look at
it's not a nitpick when it's the main.
Kristen Wiggs wished on that stone, and it became a whole new entity when it became him. That's the only way that makes it. If that's not true, then yeah, I'm with you 100%. Okay. But I can see the difference in that. It was 2 different sources of magic.
You are giving a little bit of reach to make an excuse for that. He been, woo, look at his reach. Look at this, guys.
Look at that sucker.
Hyperextend his elbow and everything.
Like a scorpion. Get over here. Like,
excuses.
Excuses.
Toasty.
Pay your bills.
Real quick.
You seen that the video? Pay your bills. Child support. Excuses. Bitch, please.
But then there was a scene where it was a guy in his office, and he couldn't give him a wish because he had already wished for a Ferrari the other day. But then in the helicopter, was like, I'm feeling generous. Make a wish. And then she wished to be an apex predator, and she could have turned into a killer whale, but she turned into the thing from Cats.
Maybe that's because, like on Ghostbusters, when Ray was like, if you make a final wish, and you make the wish, and he was like, Ray, I'm sorry, I thought of Mr. Puff. Like, maybe it was something in her head that she thought. I don't know. That wasn't explained, and I'll give you that. It makes no sense for her to turn to Cheetah, because there's nothing to explain. Like, if that's what she was like, I want to be an apex predator like a cheetah. Then I'd have been like, okay, word.
Remember when Max Lord was pushing Wonder Woman away? How was he doing? He had wind powers. Did he wish for wind powers?
Bro, that's just bad writing. That's a bad script, bro. That's trash.
Okay. Just as long as we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as far as the wish portion, that's the only way I see logic in that. So I'm going to use my logical thinking. She wished on a stone first, and then she went to a human being who had the abilities of the stone.
Excuses.
So that's the only way logic, but I agree on most of everything else.
Okay.
Go ahead, shoot.
This movie hated men, bro. Every single man except Chris Pine and the homeless black dude was like a piece of shit. Every single man.
Well, you said a homeless black dude. He probably smelled like it.
She was still bringing him food. It's like every like comically misogynistic villainous dudes. Like,
but put yourself in the 80s, bro. Let's keep it a buck.
Ladies, is that how y'all see us in the world? Jesus Christ.
I don't think now, but in the 80s, dudes was assholes, bro. Come on, man. Reaganomics, bro. It was there, bro.
I wasn't alive in the 80s, but I'm sorry, ladies. But this movie made me feel like, dang, are we the bad guys to women?
But
and it made me feel detached.
Look,
I mean, that is like every single
you
dude.
got me making up, like, you got me like backing this movie up because I understand that portion. Like the things it's funny. It's like the things you didn't like. I understand the ideal of it because if you think about it in the 80s, right, bro?
No, I do too, but every man, it made me seem
but it was all men in power, though.
No, it wasn't. It was just regular dudes. Like it was inconsistently enforced. So, for example, the open scene in the movie, it's these girls, and they steal the sunglasses, and they run away, and they almost murder this lady. They push her, the lady getting married, they push her off the bridge over some sunglasses. She was about to die. Wonder Woman saved her, and she goes on about a day. The little girls got on with the sunglasses. Next time, they're going to shoot somebody for a comb.
Possibly.
And she going to be there for that.
Possibly.
Then they get to the mall, and it's this whole lady that's running a black market artifact relic thing in her shop. The dudes come to rob her for the relics, but like, did Wonder Woman stop her? She got a whole black market back here. Where did she steal all these artifacts from?
But Wonder Woman wouldn't have done nothing if those dudes didn't start shooting and doing negative stuff. They're being evil. They're being bad guys.
You're right. Almost
typical 80s bad guys.
Almost makes you wonder like why she was there in the first place.
They didn't explain that.
I know.
But she's Wonder Woman, so we're going to leave it alone.
Okay.
She probably put a jitsu on somebody's feet and got there quick.
There you go. Fourth Hokage is. But man, it's just like that aspect of the movie, it was just so in your face with it. Like it wasn't even subtle. It was like, oh, well, where you are? Wonder Woman. Every time she walked in the room, like, dudes is their wife. Like.
But then you got to remember this. Look, and I think a lot of people say that too. It does suck. But our history is our history.
No, facts.
Men in power, especially in those times, were very dominant, and they did a lot of bad things from globally. Not just a Middle Eastern thing, not just an American thing. Men in power were like that. And you got to remember, women really didn't have a lot of rights back then, neither.
No, fact. I'm not taking up for the 80s or how women have been treated historically.
But the movie's set in the 80s, so I can see the negative perspective on the president.
It's just that there were bad women, and they weren't treated as bad women. But every man, there was no positive man in the whole movie.
I mean, who was really a bad woman?
The girls that stole the sunglasses.
Them little kids, bro. Ain't nobody worried about Dennis the Menace's sister.
Dennis the Menace never murdered nobody, fam.
They didn't murder nobody.
I'm wrong. That little kid he serial killed somebody. He was off camera.
Oh man, Mr. Wilson got a heart attack. That's it, bro.
They never found his body.
Ain't nobody tripping on them little kids, man. I just think the observation, we do see a lot of negative perspective on men, especially in this time. So when you place a movie in the 80s, and it's a superhero, and then now you're really rubbing it in our face.
The one person that should have been the sexist pig was it, and that's Pedro Pascal's character of Max Lord. Turned out to be a very redeemable villain.
But I think I hate to go back to this movie, but I understand the male bashing perspective, but nothing beats male bashing like Captain Marvel did. Captain Marvel literally was like male bashing. Like she landed in Blockbuster and punched Arnold Schwarzenegger's face. Like I'm like, what the freak is that?
Okay, that was burnt out.
That was male bashing. But this right here was actually showing somewhat of truth to the historic factor of how men were running the country at this time.
True. Okay.
So I can't use that as male bashing.
I'll give it that, but it was just.
But she did bash a male.
It accomplished nothing story wise.
She did bash a male.
It accomplished nothing.
You caught on? See, I'll be throwing them in there. Yeah. No, it didn't. It. That's the script. The script was bad, bro. I did not like the music. Hans Zimmerman dropped the ball on this one. Nothing memorable.
I'm not even gonna lie. If it's not Harry Potter or Star Wars, I'm not really interested in the score. Now, if I do hear a score, ooh, man, I like the music.
Yeah.
But for me, a bad score isn't going to make or break the movie. So I got nothing to say in those regards.
Yeah, I thought the music was not up there like it should have been. I felt Wonder Woman and it could just been because the movie, the scenes that he had to prepare for just wasn't climactic enough for the music. It just didn't. It felt like this movie really felt like a lot of hands was in a cookie jar. I felt like they had a because when you look at the story, they had a map.
Did they?
But then
You motherfuckers lost.
no. But hear me out. It's like there's a map to say, okay, this is the story. But then when you throw in the ingredients to make this journey actually come true, it falls apart because then now you have somewhat the star is not at the level of the co-stars in acting abilities. So it's obvious now. It's like, damn, okay, I can see it. And it's her situations are not covered up enough where you don't notice it like in part 1. See, part 1, you know, Gal had her surroundings and the way her character was designed, you wouldn't see the bad acting because she's being foreshadowed, like she's being what they call when your boss on your back all day, shadowing you. So she didn't have that this time around. So you saw that, and then the script felt like, let's take that out. Let's put this in. Let's take that out. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Okay, take this thing, put this in. Like a lot of stuff, like she was preparing for war with no sword or shield. Like we forgot, like Wonder Woman was basically doing rodeo tricks this whole movie.
This was a romantic comedy. It
yes,
feel like a superhero film.
It was not. It wasn't even a comedy because I ain't laugh. I feel like it was more of a drama, a romantic drama fantasy.
It's crazy. You literally just reminded me that I didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh. It wasn't nothing funny. Like it was like that. Like it's just.
This movie broke my heart.
Wonder Woman got her heart broken too. Maybe that's good acting. You felt her pain. You know, but I just felt like it felt incomplete. You know, we got the same Act 3 like we got in Part 1, and it bled over into Act 2. It's like, it felt like a symbiote touched this movie.
This movie felt like a first draft of a script that never got sharpened and polished. And just, this is great. And they just took it and made it into a movie. And now I'm worried because they said they was going to streamline Wonder Woman 3. And now I'm worried about her directing Rogue Squadron. Because now I feel like she's not a good writer.
I won't take that from her writing skills because she did Monster. I would never.
It's easy to write about.
Personally, me.
True events.
I'm not counting her out. I think she's a great writer and I think she's a great director. But I will say this. Patty was not my issues in this movie. That's the issue. It wasn't the director. It wasn't even the story, bro. I've watched a lot of movies that I was like, yo, the story sucked. But this movie was still good. It was what Gal brought to the table, man. Like, I'm sorry. I people say I'm tripping and stuff like that, but there's not one director is going to tell the actor, don't fight. You're Wonder Woman. Like you're the star. It's time to get down and busy. Because Wonder Woman, that's the whole point. Like, we wouldn't even be in this world if Wonder Woman had fought. If Wonder Woman had fought her villain instead of hiding under shield and wings, looking like Sasuke and shit when he got blown up. Like, if she wasn't all covered up, we would be like, yo, okay. Like, we need that. Like, that's the kind of stuff. Wonder Woman is a warrior. At the end of the day, she's a warrior. And when Lucy Lawless blows out your whole performance from acting, and we know Channel 5, KTLA, Xena Warrior Princess, Lucy Lawless, and Hercules with Kevin Sorbo did not have at all remotely good acting.
Hey, but I love those shows.
Why do we love them? Because they got down to business every episode.
Every episode.
Story was okay, but they got down to business. Ares looked like a knockoff Jason Momoa. Like we knew we were getting. The Warrior Princess was going to fight. Wonder Woman is a fighter, and she didn't go there with no material. She had this gold armor that she didn't even utilize.
Never explained how she got it.
Like, she said she found it, and that's all she could find. But who cares at this point? When are you going to fight? She could have been flying in the air like, chick, grab her, threw in the air like, just body in her sheet, flying.
Speaking of flying.
I'm just saying. Go ahead. I don't know how to.
Yo, that was the dumbest origin learning how to fly I've ever seen in any superhero movie.
You'll fly if somebody smack you in the back with a rope.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to fly with the rope propelling it like a plane and then just all of a sudden, oh no, I can just naturally fly. What?
She had to believe in herself.
believe it.
I'm reaching on that.
I know.
Believe it.
I gotta reach too. So back to Gal Gadot not doing her own stunts. I recently signed on to do a movie, so I'm working in production now. And then I was just in the room when they were talking about budget, and I'm not sure how this applies to Wonder Woman 2, but the insurance is really, really high right now due to COVID and other things. So what if they couldn't afford the insurance?
But this movie was filmed way before COVID hit.
True, but just bear with me. What if Gal Gadot's rate to insure her is more than it costs to insure the stunt double?
Then give the stunt double some fight scenes.
You already got a $200 million budget.
Well, give the stunt double some fight scenes.
Okay.
The idea is Wonder Woman didn't fight.
I'm just saying, like, what if that was the issue? I got to be more lenient and open now to excuses.
Nah, I don't think so. Not on that. Not on that, G. Because it don't take nothing to swing a punch. She never used her knuckles. Even Michael Keaton uses knuckles Batman.
Yeah, but that's literally...
Batcave. He did something.
If you actually going to connect or, like, fake connect, that actually goes into, like, how much your insurance costs.
That's what's up. But Eco did it in The Raid, and we know they had no money.
I know. And they had no insurance.
Tony Jaa, they did it. Bruce Lee, they did it. Jackie Chan, they did it. Chris Tucker even did it.
That's like them international like kung fu film and stuff. It's
yeah.
different.
Okay.
The union out here in the States and in these European fields is different.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. did it.
Okay.
Cap did it.
Hell,
Scarlet Witch did it.
I'm just saying. I don't know who Warner is contracted with.
Black Widow did it.
I'm just saying it might be a legit excuse for it.
No. It's impossible.
So now he don't want to reach. His arm broke now. He can't reach no more.
No, I there's no reaching. You're Wonder Woman. You prepare for a movie to fight. That's just this. How do you make a Rocky movie with no punches?
This wasn't meant to be a superhero movie, bro.
I can't use that as information to say it wasn't meant. But you say Wonder Woman, you're telling me she's gonna fight. She fought in part 1. She didn't fight in this. Them action scenes, it's beyond the script, bro. Because the script would say something like, in this it say scene whatever, Wonder Woman faces off with Cheetah in a bloody battle. That's what the script says. It doesn't say punch 1, punch 2. It's gonna say that simple things. Now what you gonna do? Wonder Woman has to fight. That's just plain and simple.
No, the script said CGI nonsense for 5 minutes.
I'm just saying that's what hurt the movie.
Blurry cat thing fights gold blurry thing.
I just think that's the bullshit.
Okay.
With the movie, like if the movie had the action portion, Wonder Woman laid hands, like Wonder Woman's using rope tricks, bro. Like she's rope tripping tricks the whole time.
Yeah,
like
she was a cowgirl.
Like that costs more than to do anything else. Like you CG a rope the whole time.
Spent all the money on that,
and
they spent all the effects budget on a Rasengan.
She straight, man. Oh, I tried it 50 years ago, but it was a cut. But I'm gonna try this on this big ass jet that I never did before because I love you so much, and you don't look like the person at all. But I see you within. Oh God.
How does she even get that power from her father? Zeus can't even do that.
We don't know what Zeus can do, but I just want. I'm glad you said that. But go ahead. What else you got that you don't like?
Man, speaking of the invisible jet, they turned the jet invisible to avoid the radar. It's not how radar works. Radar detects your onboard computer, and the reason stealth jets they're coated with a special metal to where it's harder to penetrate the surface of the jet and detect the onboard computer. So even if you turn the jet invisible, we can still see you and destroy you with our SAM sights.
Yeah, but remember this in Batman Begins. He turned his lights off and they lost him. We can't find him. What do you mean? You have a light on him and all he did was shut his lights off. He's right there.
Hey, we don't know. Gotham police, they're not the brightest, all right?
I think he just turned it. Oh, he just turned his lights off.
That's all. Hey, man. He knew he was going up against.
Batman said, "Oh, let me turn my lights off. They'll never find me."
And they didn't.
All right. This is it for me with this one. There was no gods. I'm sorry. Wonder Woman needs gods in her movie. I would love to see if Festus had made the armor for her because she couldn't beat Cheetah because Cheetah was more powerful than her, and she had the speed. I thought her and Cheetah needed more dynamics instead of a 2-hour lunch. I would have loved to see, this goes back to the script, to see that Barbara probably was her assistant for many years, and she admired Diana, and she wanted to be like Diana because Diana had something that she always wanted, which was the confidence level and the beauty. I would have loved to see that instead of this 2-hour lunch. And then I would love to see Wonder Woman go to her mother on the outskirts of the mascara and asking for assistance, and she telling her, or she contacts Hermes or something like that to find Hephaestus to make an armor to stop Cheetah because Cheetah's just too powerful for her, because we all know Cheetah outruns her in every aspect, and Wonder Woman has to gain more power to stop her because she's too fast. And that would have been really great to do that and do the scene that the Flash did correctly. When Justice League, when he looked, and Superman looked, that would have been correctly done.
It's the only good scene in that movie too.
If Wonder Woman, if Cheetah looked like, this bitch can see me now, and Wonder Woman's like, oh yes I can, and we'd have been like, oh, thank you, Wonder Woman. Instead of the rope grabs the ankle and love happens, and we're all. I understand the message. I get all that. But I didn't come for all that.
I don't get the message. Can you please explain it to me?
The message is peace, love. So.
but check this out. What if I wished for peace? Why did nobody wish for peace?
Because people are people, bro. Like Batman, Dark Knight.
You can make nuclear weapons appear out of nowhere with silos, with technicians to run the silos, but you can't bring a guy back to life. You make a magic wall appear.
Look, man.
And also,
when you're dealing with wishes, time travel, it's very complex because it's all over the place because everybody feels like their hands in the cookie jar putting in wishes.
I'm going to say this.
That's trash, though.
I think Chris Pine hurt this movie. He didn't need to be in it.
I agree.
He was the fish out of water, like, ooh, a train. Like, yeah, those things that were around for 100 years when you were alive, they're here too. Ooh, a plane. Yeah, those things that you used to fly.
But if you go to Japan right now and you see that bus that eats up trains and or people that goes over the cars, you still be like, oh, that look dope.
Yeah,
you would be amazed.
But he didn't look at that. He looked at regular.
It's the 80s though, bro. Come on, man.
Guess,
like,
bro, they had my dude like impressed with fanny packs, like for what?
And I didn't understand why he wasn't really checking out other women. Like, I'd have been checking out other chicks though. I ain't gonna lie.
He was like, wow, look at this. Blacks can vote now. What's going on?
Take me back.
They come in through the front door? No, I'm just asking. So they eat where we
No, I'm not what you think I am, but I want to go back.
No, they have their own. So we use the same bathrooms. Oh, okay. I don't know.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing in here? Excuse me? That would have been, that would be a great.
He wouldn't have called them boy.
That would have been a great one of them, you know, them skits, them spoofs. What are you doing here, boy? Excuse me? Yeah, Diana, this guy with this black guy was in.
Yeah, one of those Negroes was in the bathroom. It was crazy.
He is from 1917.
Yeah,
like,
he wouldn't have said black.
Yeah, it's like these Negroes are walking around town.
There was a colored man in the bathroom. What?
What's going on? I sing Lovecraft.
I just think, like, yeah, he hurt the movie. We didn't need to see him being a fish out of water now. It was pointless.
Yeah.
It made sense in the first movie because she was coming to the world. He's still been in the world. He was impressed.
But he caught on quicker than she did, though.
It was just pointless. I didn't need it. Show me some more action. It's a superhero movie.
Right.
This was a rom-com.
And
not even a good one at that. That's it.
I know people want to say, yeah, she messed with a man against his will. All right. I want to just touch on that like she did. I want to say that was, I would have preferred him just to pop up.
Yeah.
Not get into someone's body.
Yeah, it didn't
because
make
we don't know
sense.
if that guy was gay. We don't know if that guy was anti-women.
Where was his family? He'd been missing for weeks.
His neighbors didn't know him. Like, it was done poorly. Like I could see if they did the Meet Joe Black idea where he died.
He probably didn't have no job no more when he came back.
Yeah, like he didn't go to work. Like if they did the Meet Joe Black one, then maybe I would work with it a little bit better because when Meet Joe Black, he died. And then he went in his body. And it was like, okay, cool. Dope movie. Anthony Hopkins and
why
Brad Pitt.
Even do that? Because she was seeing what his real body looked like. but he was Chris Pine for us.
Yeah, I know.
That was weird. Why? Just bring him back to life completely.
Yeah, I preferred that.
And when he,
I would even like a
and
thriller
she never
scene.
got a last moment with him. Like I feel like she should have seen him disappear when she recanted her wish.
And she should have took him dancing, listen to the music or something.
Man,
Like
they
they
didn't
even
even
go to
go on cool
arcades
dates.
or nothing,
Yeah.
bro. Like, oh, she don't know what the '80s is like, bro. She's sitting there living in a thing,
Yeah,
a
but
bubble.
that is actually now the worst DCEU movie to me.
I totally disagree. I can't do that. I will never disrespect this movie in that form or fashion. This is not worse than mother freaking Suicide Squad.
It almost isn't. It almost isn't.
Nah, it has way better. It's better directing.
But if I'm edging, it is.
You reaching to hate this movie.
Nah, bro. This story is very important to me.
No, it is for me, but it is not the worst. Absolutely not. That's my opinion.
They can tie for worse.
Nah.
And then Justice League.
Wonder Woman 84 is, I watched it twice, and I still give it a C+ because of there are redeeming qualities within the film that I like, that I appreciate. The shots that Patty delivered, I love directing and I love craft. I dig that. Now some of them shots I didn't like. I didn't like that glamour shit. Like, you know what I mean? When you show like we in 1940 and junk to make us know that she's beautiful. That's whack. I hate that glamour kick that she kept doing. That shit was weak. But for the most part, I love the way the setting. I was able to really tell the story through the directing because the script didn't tell me a story. I had to follow a different path to understand the film, which is not bad sometimes. But at the end of the day, I didn't like that. I liked the acting. I enjoyed that. But this movie's just not. This movie is what I call, and this is funny because it goes in the same place as Wonder Woman 1. It has poor rewatchable value.
I watched it 3 times. I absolutely hated it more each time. It has way too many jump cuts for me to give her any credit for directing.
That's editing, though.
But the director needs to be there to put it together as well. Like I feel like the director's in the editing room.
Yeah.
Or at least when you watch it, but hey man, this doesn't make sense. We need to go back and change that. It don't just get edited and you get no.
It do feel like a lot of hands was in that cookie jar, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not.
From what I've heard though,
but
that it was her.
I guess you know the crazy thing is, I guess when you watch someone's work for so long, and then you see a problem with the movie, and then you be like, well, that record don't look like that. Like if this is M. Night Shyamalan, I'd be like, yup, 100% responsible. I've watched too many of your movies, and I know you do this type of shit. For this one, I will totally agree with that. I don't know anymore. I'll leave it at that. I don't know anymore. I've seen, but I don't know because I've learned certain eyes from directors. When you watch someone's craft and you see what they do, you know that shot they do. You're like, that's their shot. That is their special move. And I love that. And not a lot of directors still do that anymore. So I do appreciate that. I think one of the main reasons a lot of us feel this way about this movie is that this movie really takes the blueprint from Richard Donner's Superman and it's just done poorly. It's not done. You have to modernize Superman 1 and 2. You can't use that same blueprint and bring it, even though it's in the 80s set, we're a 2020 audience. So you have to really be able to tell that story as a whole by modernizing it 100%. Not giving us cool effect, but modernizing the whole story. Even the acting has to be transitioned properly because if you try to mimic that from 1970, what Superman came out, 77, 78? Was that? Or was it? I can't remember because I'm getting confused with Star Wars. All this. But you can't mimic that and put that in an 80s set for a 2020 audience. And that's where Patty, I think, dropped the ball on that. Because I see what you were going with. I get it. But it was like too many styles trying to combine in one film. You still got the corniness, but then you want to go realistically, but then you want to go Richard Donner, and then you want to come back, and then you want to do a love scene. And then it's just too many. It's nothing focused. This is a part 2. This should have been strictly war. Should have been Wonder Woman at her peak. Wonder Woman laying waste to everybody to come near her. And Wonder Woman learning how to become the Wonder Woman that we're going to see in the future. so we can understand why she wanted to. Even if you stick with the Zack Snyder shit, why she wanted to leave mankind in general. Because she said I stepped away because people envied me so much. They wanted to become me and it corrupted them. And I said I can't do this anymore. Like maybe something like that would have made it'd have been like whatever, but at least it would have made sense futuristic wise. Okay, she felt for mankind. She wanted to, blah blah blah. But I just felt there's just a lot of cookies, hands in the cookie jar, a lot of stories trying to mix into one, and it just wasn't presented properly. I'm thirsty now.
I gotta still give her bad directing because not just the editing part, but the CG. The CG was directed so bad. When she's running, it looks so unnatural because her head isn't bobbing up and down.
I forgot about that,
the
bro.
Jumping, the flying, it all looks so bad.
Toy Story, 100%.
Yeah, that all falls under the director. And then the writing of I already explained was terrible. It's a non-functioning story. That's why I think it's worse than Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was a bad movie, but it was a functioning bad movie. This movie, because of the story, because of the pacing, because of things that were explained in the meta within this universe, is not a functioning superhero movie. Yeah, I feel like they just like, I'm gonna throw Wonder Woman on it and it's gonna make money.
I dig it.
I give it a D-. Only reason it don't get an F is because of the opening scene.
Damn. Well, you already know my grade. I gave it a C+, man. But that's the real, man. Oh, the very ending was dope. I love seeing Linda Carter.
Yeah.
That was hot.
I like that too.
And that woman looks gorgeous.
Right?
I'm just gonna say that. Man, that jet black hair she had, I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's Wonder Woman right there, bro. I was Wonder Woman. My girl was like, what you mean? I was like, no, that's Wonder Woman. She turned around, Wonder Woman, bro.
They gonna recast.
Quick. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the review.
If you guys feel differently, don't just leave angry comments. Explain why. I'll engage and go back and forth with you. Don't.
Yeah, he'll definitely be in the chat with you guys. I want to thank Sable for coming through, spreading that knowledge. This guy right here is a monster, bro. A beast. He knows this shit, bro. Like, I think if I cut him open, words would come out.
Yep. It's
like what the
fuck? Manga, and anime.
He bleeds pages. Yep. You guys know I'm J3. If you're new to the channel, go and put the subscribe button, thumbs this video up, and do not forget to share Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
We out.
All right. Till next time.